All right, let's get right into it because today we're tackling a huge problem, one that I guarantee you've run into. We're talking about all those documents, piles and piles of them, with super important information just locked away inside. So, how do we get to it? Well, today we're going to unpack a system that lets you do exactly that.
Seriously, just think about it for a second. You know that one statistic you need from last quarter's report? Or that specific clause buried in a 50-page contract? We've all been there, right? Mashing Control F, trying every keyword we can think of, and nothing? It's crazy that our most valuable info is just sitting there, trapped in a format we can't easily search. But what if you could just ask your documents a question, like you're talking to a person? Look at this. This is the magic right here. Someone asks about an internship offer letter, and the system doesn't just give you the file. No, it actually reads it, understands the context, and spits out a perfect summary. And get this, it even tells you exactly where it found the information. This is an absolute game changer. So you're probably wondering, how on earth is that even possible? Well, this isn't just some far-off concept. It's a real system, and we're about to pull back the curtain and look at the actual blueprint for how it's built.
So, what we're digging into is a real deal open source project from GitHub. It's designed from the ground up to be a production ready system. And that basically means it's built to be tough, scalable, and handle real world stuff. It's based on a technology called RAG, which stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. All that means is it first retrieves the right info, and then it uses that info to generate a brand new answer for you. Let's break it down.
To really get how this thing works, you have to look at its core architecture. You can think of it as being built on three main pillars. They're all separate, but they work together perfectly to make the magic happen. And I love this analogy. Just picture a super advanced library. The API service is your friendly librarian at the front desk. You go to them with your question. Then you've got the Postgres database, which is like the old school, super detailed card catalog. It knows everything about every single book. And then there's the Qdron Vector DB. This is like magic shelving that organizes books not by alphabet, but by what they're about. Okay, so let's start with that librarian, the API service. This is the front door of the whole system. When you upload a document or ask a question, this API is what catches it. It's the coordinator, the quarterback, telling all the other parts of the system what to do to get you an answer. Next up, we have the card catalog, which is a PostgreSQL database. Think of this as the system's perfect memory. It keeps track of every single document, but more importantly, it tracks its status. It knows if a document is still being processed, pending, or if it's ready to go, completed. This is absolutely crucial for making the system reliable in the real world. And now for the really cool part, the smart shelving, or the Qdron Vector database. This is basically the brain of the operation. Here's the trick. It doesn't store words, it stores meaning. Every piece of text gets turned into a string of numbers, an embedding, that represents its meaning. So the idea of a king and a queen would be represented by numbers that are really close together. But king and, say, cabbage, their numbers would be miles apart. This is what lets the system understand what you mean, not just the keywords you type. Okay, so we've got the basic structure down. But how does it actually think? How does a PDF you upload turn into something you can have a conversation with? Well, that happens in a really smart four-step pipeline. First up is ingestion. The system takes your document and breaks it down into small, digestible chunks. Then comes hybrid search, which is so clever. It looks for both the meaning behind your question and specific keywords. You get the best of both worlds. Step 3 is re-ranking. This is a vital quality check to make sure the absolute most relevant chunks get pushed to the top. And finally, generation. This is where a language model takes those top chunks and crafts a natural human-sounding answer, using only the facts it was given. Now, let's look at the actual tools that make this pipeline hum. For that first step, ingestion, it uses libraries called Unstructured and LangChain. Why? Because they're amazing at handling pretty much any file type you throw at them. To create those meaning-based numbers, those embeddings, it uses a model called All-Mini-LM L6v2, which is super fast and efficient. Then, for that critical re-ranking step, it calls on Cohere's API to really zero in on the best results. And to top it all off, it uses an OpenAI model to write that final polished answer, complete with citations. Every tool here was picked for a very specific job. So we have this incredible architecture and this super intelligent pipeline. But what can you actually do with it? Let's take a look at some of the awesome capabilities that come out of this. Okay, check this out. The person asks,
Is there a file having a similar name like Manish Cody resume? Do you see it? That's not a command. It's how a person talks. And the system just gets it. It understands the casual language and finds the right file. This isn't about matching file names anymore. It's about understanding what someone actually wants. Just imagine what this could do for huge archives of research papers or legal documents. And if you thought that was cool, look at this. The user just asks, "What files do you have in the DB?" And boom, the system gives a full inventory of every document it has processed. It has self-awareness. It doesn't just know what's in the documents, it knows about the documents themselves. This elevates it from just a search tool to a genuine knowledge manager that you can actually talk to. And really, that's the whole point. What we're seeing here is a fundamental shift in how we deal with our information. We're moving way beyond a simple search bar. It's like the quote says, "This isn't just about finding documents. It's about creating a dialogue with your data. We're turning our static, boring archives into an active partner that can help us think and discover." Ultimately, systems like this are unlocking decades of value that's been sitting dormant on our hard drives. The answers we're looking for? They're often already there, tucked away in some PDF. This tech finally gives us a way to find them. So the real question isn't whether the answers exist. It's, are you ready to start asking the questions?